Welcome to class today. Going to do a nice clearing of our channels. A lot of times the body can absorb the static around us, the visuals and everything we hear and all the information. And of course, when the mind absorbs, the body absorbs. So let's try to clear a bit of that out today. We'll begin in seated position. So any comfortable seat you can find. Make sure that when you're in your seat, that sits bones at the base of the spine around the tailbone are on the edge of a cushion or a blanket so that you can allow a curve in the low back. And take the hands to the thighs and come into that awareness of your spine, that central channel, that beautiful column that connects us to earth and sky. We'll close the eyes and take our mind's eye to those sits bones. And as you travel up the spine, feel free to give a little bit of a tour of sensations of where your body is today. So we'll travel beginning at the sits bones and the tailbone in between them. We'll visually, in our mind's eye, walk up that spine, past the low back curve, and then up towards the base of the ribs. Maybe gently tuck those ribs in a tiny bit so we can feel those abdominal muscles helping us get even taller. And then bone by bone, let's travel up those intricacies of the spine, past the shoulder blades, rolling those shoulder blades, allowing them to glide down towards the sits bones. And then we'll travel past those shoulder blades up towards that junction between the cervical spine, the thoracic spine, and the cervical spine, where we gently glide into that neck arch, and then the shoulders roll away from the ears, staying at that ear level. They're kind of connected, that shoulder ear triangle. Inhaling, exhaling, let's go all the way up to the top of the spine, which enters into the skull between the ears, and then the energy out of the crown of the head. So we've taken our tour. Feel free on your inhale and exhale to take that sweep down and up again the spine. So we're, with our breath, clearing any static in the spine, resetting our intentions to oxygenate, to add fluidity to this beautiful connecting point in our body. All of those tendrils that go out from the spine into our limbs, into our nerve system. So let's use the breath as that kind friend today to clear the channels. And since we were up at the top of the spine in between the ears, let's do my favorite yogic conscious breath, which is the Ujjayi breath, inhaling through the nose, out through the nose. As you inhale through the nose, you're noticing the sound of a sipping in of the air. You can hear the sound of the breath in between the ears. And then as you exhale, you can gently slightly close the throat so that when you exhale through the nostrils, you're hearing that breath again, and you're sending an intentional channel through the throat to exhale out the air. And feel free to lengthen your exhales, which will increase the capacity of your inhales. So simple stuff, but subtle and intricate at the same time. Another couple of Ujjayi breaths, getting to know the sound of your breath today. Perhaps it sounds like you have your ear to a seashell. That gentle undulation of the ocean. With your eyes closed, allow the fingertips to travel to the mat and just feel the fingertips pressing into the mat, spider hands, and notice that subtle effect that has on the spine. As you're inhaling, maybe a little rise up more as the extension of those fingertips helps us get a bit more space in those spinal connections. Exhale, notice the roots beneath you, and then take your palms up to the sky, keeping the eyes closed so we can stay in the subtle body here. Inhale the arms up towards the sky so they're next to the ears, and then they're going to come into prayer position above the head. So we're still using our proprioception, keeping the eyes closed. Here with your arms raised in prayer position, you're going to gently turn the sternum towards the right knee, just using your sensors, not your eyes, and then release the hands down to the mat. Find the floor with your fingertips. Still bringing the eyes, keeping the eyes closed and bringing the awareness to the spine in that gentle twist. And then inhaling up, if you can keep those eyes closed, back up to prayer position. And then back down, bring the fingertips down to the mat and turn the sternum towards the left knee. Inhale again and take that same trip with the eyes closed. Notice what mobility awakens in your spine. And then other way. Turn the other way with your eyes closed. Come to center into prayer position. Just again, now we can open the eyes and take that twist with the eyes open. And this time bring the gaze over the right shoulder if possible. If not, just turn to the side. Up through center. Exhale brings you down. And then come back, prayer position above the head, really reach through the side bodies, getting our length already, and then take that prayer position down the central channel with keeping that intention of just clearing out what you'd like to clear out, down to the heart, pressing the hands together, and noticing as you press the hands together, that awakens your shoulders, shoulder muscles more engaged and supportive. Inhale, exhale. Now let's keep those hands together and rub them together. And then take the warm hands to the eyes. So just cover the eye sockets, close the eyes, and just feel that warmth that can travel in through the eye sockets into the nervous system. A sense of peace, inner stillness. And then when we take the hands away from the eyes, just see if you can imbue yourself with a sense of beholding what's around you, beholding the beauty around you. And release the hands and just look around your space. And bring the fingertips down to the earth. And we'll do our neck trace. So let's turn that chin over to the right shoulder. Gaze around you. Bring the gaze back over to the left. And then bring it forward. Look at what's above you. And then bring the gaze down, chin tucked. Look at what's below you. Bring a sense of refreshing renewal into the practice, into the gaze, all of it. Turn over to the right again. And now we'll take the chin and tuck the chin towards the right shoulder and trace the collarbones in towards the center. So we're keeping those fingertips nice and rooted. And then gaze up. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, turn the gaze over to the left shoulder. Reach that chin over toward the left shoulder. And trace it along the collarbone, appreciating that expanse there. Connecting our shoulders, and then tuck the head down. Soften your gaze. Inhale the head up, and then gently bring the right ear toward right shoulder. With that anchoring of your sits bone and the anchoring of your left hand, you can really extend the reach across the trapezius on the left. Inhale the left ear towards the sky. Exhale the right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're freeing up, again, the static in that trapezius channel. So many nerve endings there from our fingertips all the way up to our shoulders. Feel free to help your head up with your right hand so we can free up even more space there. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, left ear toward left shoulder. Inhale the right ear towards the sky. Exhale, see if you can soften a little more as you press through the right fingertips. Full engagement. Lovely. Feel that right trapezius really warming, maybe buzzing a little bit. That's fine. Take the left hand, help yourself back up. Just stay here a moment, and with the thumbs rooted, take the fingertips behind you, behind the thumbs, right? And so notice that expansion again, subtle expansion, great way to stretch the neck every single day, and that shoulder complex to open up here. Beautiful. And then we can take the arms up towards the sky and just get our wingspan going here. Glide through the shoulder sockets as we rise up through the arms, and then touch down with those lovely fingertips here. Inhale, exhale, down. Nice. Take your flight. Great. And then we'll bring ourselves back to T-arms. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears. Inhale, exhale the ears away from the shoulders and gaze over the right fingertips. Press the left hand into an imaginary wall. See if you can feel that buzz along your left arm. Nerves getting a nice new pathway. And then maybe slide the left hand towards the wall behind you. Keep the engagement in your shoulders nice and strong. And then slide the left hand forward, bring the arms back to T, bring your gaze forward, and then over the left fingertips, pressing the right hand into an imaginary wall or block. Ujjayi breath. And then slide the right hand back towards the back wall. See what sensations occur. If it's a little buzzing, that's good. That's what this should do. And the more you do this kind of nerve flossing, the less staticky it gets. And then slide the right hand forward, bring our gaze back. Oh, so nice. Really reach out side to side and just sway side to side so we can bring some side bend here. Gently sway as if you're reaching out for a person on the right and then reaching out on the left. Great. And then fold in, bend the elbows, bring the hands to the heart. So the palms over the chest, like bird wings, and just feel that support. Inhale into your hands and exhale, release that up to the sky. And then reach up for a cloud on the right, reach up for a cloud on the left. Feel free to look up as you do that. Great. So nice. Now in our seated position, we're going to come into a wide seated forward bend. So I'm going to demonstrate this from the side at first, just so that you can get a sense of the alignment here. If we want to make sure that the sits bones, you can stay where you are and just make sure you root through those sits bones. And we have that same alignment, but we're taking the legs out at an angle into a V. Don't overdo the angle, do whatever your hips tell you to do. So have this be driven and guided by your hips. Feel free to take your fingertips to the mat outside your legs and just feel that rise up of the spine. Take your hands to your lower back and just notice that the curve is there. If it's not there and you've got it more of a straightened position, then you want to lift your hips up higher, even on a block for this open position. Much more therapeutic to keep that nice curve. You can take a hand to the belly, a hand to the lower back, and just notice that shape that healthy alignment. I'll turn around now just to show you that. And now if you have a strap nearby, that would be great. And we're going to take the fingertips again, side, grow tall, and feel that length, and then take the fingertips in front of you. And we're going to flex the toes, and we're going to open up the toes so that we can really spread them out and make space between the toes. So we're feeling, again, a channel, an energy channel down the legs, into the feet, out through those toe tips even. And just feel the length here, and feel yourself really anchoring into your hips, into those sits bones. No hurry. Just kind of feel that expansion. Great. And then if you can hinge at that hip and walk the fingertips just a little bit forward, keeping that height in your spine. That's a nice way to get oxygen into those hips. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, hinge a little bit forward and maybe inch the fingers forward. Now, if that's as far as you can go, that little inch, that's fine. Allow the heart to guide, allow the hips to be the base and the anchor with the information that you need for what your body wants and the limits of your body. As you exhale, make that exhale extra long so that on that next cycle of inhale, we can feel maybe a tiny bit more support as we change some sinews in the body. Great. And then walk the hands back, sit up taller. Take that strap, and if you have that, lasso the ball of the right foot over on the side. So we've got the strap, and if you got both sides of that in your right hand, you're going to reach your right hand towards the toes and press into the strap with your ball of the foot so you can really feel that leverage, and try to keep your sits bones even here. Great. And then make sure we don't hyperextend the knees, but keep those quads engaged, right? So squeeze your quads and you'll notice, oh, great, my knees are tracking better. So let's take that right hand on the strap and then take our sternum a little bit more towards the left toes. And we're going to do a side bend here. So bend the right elbow and keep that left hand on the left thigh first and just anchor down as you lean and a side bend towards the right toes. Inhale, feel that lift. Exhale, soften. Just like when we do the head tilt, just doing a body tilt here. Okay, once you've established that tilt, you can take your left hand arm up towards the sky and then over the left ear. Has the left sits bone try to rise up a little bit? See if you can anchor it. Engage those quads, keep the knees nice and aligned. Maybe you can even turn that sternum up towards the sky a little more. And then use your left hand to sweep up towards the sky and use that momentum to come on back up. And release the straps, lasso the left side, lasso the left ball of the foot. Left hand reaches out, and we gently take a slight turn towards the right toes. Inhale, and then take the right hand to the right thigh, and then lean on over towards the left toes. You can feel free to slide your hand out towards the toes, reach the toes, whatever you'd like. Bend the left elbow, though. And feel that right hand just for extra anchor on that right side. So we can really expand out of the pelvis and flex the spine a little more. And then sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Feel already the right side extension, and then reach the right arm over right ear, melt. Inhale, expand, exhale, feel the anchor of that right sits bone, providing balance. And maybe you can turn the sternum up towards the clouds a little bit. Oh, so nice. Sweep the right hand up, use that momentum to just naturally float back up. So nice. And then we'll take our hands under the knees, really support the knees as they bend and bring the feet together in front of the body. So we've got a cobbler or a butterfly pose here. So you want to, again, keep the curve in the low back, take the hands to the shins or the ankles. There, you've got that leverage to keep you seated up. And here, you can just rock side to side, kind of feeling the hips open up. You can just stay here and not lean forward, or you can come to stillness on top there and reach out towards the ankles and then come on and lean forward a little bit through those hips. You can feel free to rock back and forth with your hinging at that hip, or just come slowly forward. Listen in to those connections, that large connection, the femur bone in the hip socket. Keeping the head aligned, the back of the head aligned with the sacrum here. Pressing the feet together, getting right into those hips. And then come on back up, and you can just lean, if you can, lean forward at that hips and give your feet a little massage on the bottom. Why not, since we're here? See if you can separate your toes so that when they stand up, they'll kind of have a little memory of that separating out. And massage the bottom of the foot, getting into our reflexology, right? All more connections all the way down the bottom of the skeleton. Ujjayi breath. And massage the shins and the calves. Great, rub along the thighs. Nice, great. Now let's change to our tabletop. So you can take the blanket and cushion the knees as we take the knees below the hips, wrists below the shoulders. And from here, we've got that beautiful anchor of our shins, that nice surface of the shins is so much of a better base than that little kneecap, right? Okay, let's take those hip width apart, find our base here, find that foundation with our inhale and our exhale. Now let's do our very conscious cat-cow with Ujjayi breath, inhaling into cat. Exhaling into cow. Look up at the very end. So we're really taking that trip up the spine with our undulating breath. If that spine is our central communication channel, let's bring it into that channel, what we want to have flowing, right? Not all the other static that we don't need. Set that intention of clarity as you wave action your spine. Come back to a neutral spine, and we'll come down to our forearms. And for more clearing of that static, we're going to take our thoracic puff, I like to call this. Elbows are below the shoulders. And we're going to take our shoulder blades apart towards the shoulder blades, toward the shoulder sockets, lift the back of the heart up towards the sky, just allow the head to travel naturally down. And then exhale, let's bring the shoulder blades together, melt the heart. This may take a few repetitions with your Ujjayi breath to find new energy, to find a clearing of stuck points. So let's repeat this a few times. The music of your breath. Great. And now keeping your thighs 90 degrees to the mat. Let's reach the palms towards the top of the mat, come into puppy pose, which will have the forehead on the mat. And you're reaching that right angle of the shins to the thighs and the thighs 90 degrees to the mat. Pressing through the shins, just feel that expansion on the length of the spine. As you exhale, tone the navel a little bit towards the spine so we get that abdominal engagement. And then lift the head, walk your forearms back to the mat. And see that you're up towards the top of the mat. We're going to extend the left leg back, curl the toes under. And we're going to come towards a forearm plank. So as we take that forearm plank, I want you to keep conscious of the armpit energy towards the ribs. So we want to engage those shoulders and lengthen out the right leg to curl toes under. And we're coming into our forearm plank. You can take the knees down if that's more comfortable for you. But let's align that back of the head to the sacrum. Engage the quads. The quads, no, yes, the quads, but the glutes as well. One knee down, then the other. And then just allow yourself to come down to the mat for a moment. Inhale. Exhale. We'll come back up for another one. Forearms to the mat. Lift the hips up. So now we're kind of in a knee plank. Feel free to stay in this knee plank or come on up to a full forearm plank. Inhale. Exhale. Toning the navel towards the spine, making sure our abdominals really help us out here. Clear it out. And then bring one knee down, then the other. Slide the hips back to child's pose. If that flexion in your knees is too much, you can roll onto your back and hug the knees however you want. In this child's pose, let's again give the spine a moment to clear some things out. So roll the head side to side and just roll the spine side to side in that long position. It's just a gentle shaking out, shaking down. So if you come back into the breath and just feel a gentle rocking side to side, you're giving a subtle energy to that spine to loosen up a bit. Letting go of some things that it doesn't need. Exhale. On your next inhale, we'll float on back up to all fours. And we're going to come up into down dog, just shifting between down dog and plank. But we want to make sure we move that blanket out of the way. So lift the knees up. If you can get that blanket out of your way. We'll take the hands towards the top of the mat and come into a nice, easy entry into down dog, keeping the knees bent and our toes in tiptoe. And pedal the right heel down and then the left heel down. Lift up and down. So you're gently straightening each leg, keeping the arms nice and engaged and long. Imagine a magnet pulling your arms together. So you feel like they're supporting you as a team. And then let's tiptoe up on both feet, bring the ribs towards the thighs, and then descend the heels. See how much we can get down. If you want to stay up, that's okay too. If we can shift forward into plank and just get our core going here, that would be great. So squeeze down on those shoulders away from the ears, and then just glide back to down dog. Ujjayi, inhale through nostrils as you come forward. Exhale as you go back to down dog. And back and forth, very gentle, keeping the arms engaged. And our next down dog, we're going to bend the knees, walk the hands towards the feet. And if you want to have blocks, I'm going to grab them just to show you. I've got a block or blocks in my forward bend with the knees bent. I can place those blocks below the head just to keep the hands on them. As we come up into a flat back, see if you can begin to straighten your legs here. So I know we often go up with those bent legs, but let's see if we put our hands on blocks or just the fingertips on the mat and come up to a flat back. See if you can bend and straighten each leg. Just kind of see, again, if this is a problem for your lower back or something, keep the knees bent, of course. But if it's okay for you, you can try to come up towards a little more of a straightened leg situation. Or you can keep the knees bent and just hang on down. But again, kind of like that straightening and bending on the down dog, we're just pedaling it out here. Now, consciously, let's bring those feet to the mat in our mountain pose, hip width apart. We're going to actually consciously bend the knees now, bring the ribs towards the thighs, and we're going to come into our lovely chair pose. So sweep those arms up above the body, behind you, reaching up towards the sky. Inhale through the back body. Exhale, sweep the fingertips to the mat, and then next to the ears, nice and long, let's come up off the thighs and squeeze an imaginary block or grab your block between those thighs, holding a nice tall spine, abs engaged. Inhale, exhale, stand strong through your feet. Slowly, slowly come on up. Keep those arms up towards the sky. Right hand grabs left wrist and we lean over to our right, exhaling. Base here, strong through that left foot. And then come on back up, switch it up. Left hand grabs right wrist. And we sway in the breeze over to the left. Really nice. Come on back up. Really feel that reach through the top. Sweep the arms next to the body, full wingspan. Grab a block. And we're going to place that between the thighs. And as you take that block between the thighs, make sure your feet are hip width apart. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, nice and long. Bring the hands back up, your palms to the lower back. As you squeeze the block gently between those thighs, you can use your fingertips and point downward towards your heels and elbows behind you. We're coming into a camel back bend here. So support the low back as the heart looks up at the sky sternum, and maybe your gaze goes up too. Exhale, slide the hands over in front of the hip bones at the top of the thighs, squeezing the block. Let's bend forward. So we're tilting forward, not only as far as you feel comfortable with, but do squeeze that block to protect your lower back. And then come on back up, press onto that lower back into camel. Clearing out and allowing energy flow through the legs to the spine. Tilt forward. Alternate a few, maybe 2 to 3 more times here with your breath. Not hinging too far forward. If you have some hip, lower back issues with the discs, just take it diagonal. But you'll notice the hamstrings waking up here as well. Take it slow. Beautiful. Come on back up. So notice as you bring your awareness and strength into that center with the block, you can actually really use that lower foundation to protect your lower back. And notice the block can also help you stay in a very grounded mountain pose. If you push that block forward with your hips, you'll just notice, oh, wait, I'm jamming into my lower back. If you push the block too far back, I'm kind of on that hunching forward. So see if you can just keep that nice and aligned and squeeze and notice a very strong mountain pose. Inhale. Exhale, remove the block. Nice. And now we'll come into our forward, and we're going to just flow right into a warrior 3 or a balancing stick. So that's to your choice. The balancing stick is just keeping the arms at a ear next to the ears and coming into a diagonal. And the warrior 3 will be going into a more horizontal. Step forward with the right foot. Find that base, engage the quads, shift the weight, keeping the hips even onto that front foot. And then you can take the arms next to the ears and just let go of that left foot in the back and see how long you can get here now that we've had a nice communication from our fingertips down to those toes. Connect it all and see if you can hinge forward. Warming that right leg. And reach up again into that diagonal, sweep the arms back, step to the back of the mat. Inhale, exhale, step forward with the left. Feel free to use your arms next to the ears, or even you can keep them at the hips, whatever helps you ground and move forward, stepping off the right foot onto that left leg and hinging forward. Feel free to fly in that Superman, superhero pose. Superwoman, thank you very much. Or wingspan, playing here. Back to your breath. And then reach that right leg back. And step back. Nice. Okay, let's take a side bend here. Sweep the right foot behind the left. And then sweep the right arm next to right ear. And the left hand grabs right wrist. And we take an even more luxurious side bend here, pressing through the right foot, bending the left knee in front. Imagining that you're between 2 panes of glass, right? We're on that sideways plane. Inhale, exhale, release. Traveling all the way up the right side of the leg here. Back up, sweep the foot around, finding that base of mountain, arms down. Exhale, sweep the left foot over. Inhale, the arms of next to ears, right arm, right hand grabs left wrist and lean on over, planting that left foot nice and strong. And then sweep on back up. Sweep the arms down to the side. Step into the middle of the mat. Take a turn so that the wide part of the mat is beside you. And then we're going to take our stance wider so that the feet are parallel. So this is wider than hip width, but not super wide as if we're taking that triangle, but in between there, right? And we're going to chop some wood. So we're going to clear that central energy channel 3 times. The stance here is similar to our camel. Not our camel. It's similar to our chair. So you want to bend at the knees, send the hips back, hinging at the hips, and you can feel free to hinge down, but I want you to make sure if this hurts your low back, you want to stay up more diagonally. You can still clear the channel if you keep that chop up higher. So take that nice stance through the feet, spread those toes. Inhale, prayer position above the head. Look up at that prayer position, saluting up. Exhale, bend at the knees. Exhale, chop through those shins. And then inhale back up. Chop it. Release. Inhale back up. Chop down. Release. Beautiful. Come on back up. And then trace that line down our center to the heart. Now we'll take our stance wider and turn the toes out, tracking the knees behind the middle toes. We'll clear some more channels, all directions, right? So inhale, the arms above the head, prayer position. This time, turn the palms out towards the horizontal plane, bend the knees, and then sweep out into our wingspan. Bring the palms together at the base. So we notice that strong base. We're keeping our feet magnetized together, feeling those quads engage. And then inhale, as you inhale, sweep the energy up towards the crown of the head. And then straighten the legs, reach up towards the sky. Now we'll do the opposite. We're going to sweep the arms around in a circle, bring the energy up, anything you need from above, and then arms come down, hands come down like so. Bend the knees, send the energy down, bring it down to your root. Inhale back up towards the eyes, clearing our vision, turn the palms out away from the face and push out. Bend the knees. Come back in towards the eyes. Sweep over towards the ears. Now we're clearing that channel away from the ears. Push out. Bend the knees. Staying strong. Inhale all of the energy that you want right to your heart. And then send that down to the root, bending the knees. Let's even it all out. Bring it back up to the crown of the head with those palms. Send a sweep of cleansing energy down. Bend the knees. Beautiful. And then come on back up to our goddess. Bring the prayer position above the heart again. Exhale into our goddess pose with cactus arms right here. Okay. So we're in this strong victory pose. Let's send out victory for the goddesses out there. We need it. Inhale up into prayer. This time when you come into cactus, let's take a lion's breath, nice and powerful. Sending that out, tongue sticking out. Tap into that power one more time. Reach up towards the sky. Gathering it up. Exhale, goddess pose. Lion's breath. Inhale up, reach up into that prayer again. And now we're going to just take a nice hinge at the hips as we reach up and keep that length in the spine. The arms will help you keep that length. Hinge forward at the hips. Keep the feet are coming back to parallel, And then come on down. You can grab a block, bring your hands to the block so you don't have to go down as far. or the fingertips to the mat. We're in a flat back here, reaching long through the spine. And then exhaling, see if you can hinge a little more, lower down, bowing to the earth, drawing power from our root, the feet and the hands. Inhale into a flat back again. Exhale, release, and release the neck. Release the head. Again, flowing with your Ujjayi breath. Exhale, bow down. Find the earth with your palms. And release so that, again, that neck connection can almost get a little traction from the weight of the head. Shake the head yes and no. Oxygenate the brain. Again, that body-mind connection, brain power, smarts. We need that for our world right now. Walk the hands out away from the body. We're going to come down towards the mat. So walk the feet in together. Step, step lightly. And then bring the knees down. Grab your strap. And we're going to come down to the mat. On our back, sacrum planted. You can come down holding on to the back of the thighs, making sure your core is engaged as you come down. Hang on to those thighs till the last moment. And then notice the engagement of your core slowly, slowly reclining you down back of the skull aligns with the sacrum. Grab the strap. We're going to take the full spectrum here. Inhale the right knee to the chest. Lasso the right foot again. And then bring that leg up to the sky. Talk about clearing out. So the hamstrings are that nice line to the low back, all the way down to those ankles, the Achilles. So many connections there. So let's hold on to that strap, bend, straighten the leg so we can really clear a path above us. You can keep that at a diagonal if you want, but make sure you're gravitationally connecting the top of the femur into the hip socket. Great. And then slide your right heel towards your left hip. Oy, there's a buzz there. So there's a channel that needs some clearing. Let's bend and straighten. Allow the breath to guide you so that the right foot comes back to neutral. And we take the strap into just our right hand and allow the right leg to travel out to the side. If you want to straighten out the left leg, do so and take your left hand to the top of the thigh and really feel that sense of grounding through the left thigh. Pressing through the ball of the foot will really keep that right leg awake. Travel with your breath. The next inhale guides your right leg up to our neutral, bend the left knee, bring the sole of that left foot to the floor and lift up into a bridge so that you can roll over onto your left side and change the strap so that both sides are in your left hand. Setting ourselves up for a twist. So the pelvis is 90 degrees to the floor. And you've got your right hand reaching at your heart, elbow reaching towards the sky, mid and upper back, turn to the right. And release that right arm out into a T. Feel the expanse along the collarbones. Pressing through your right arm. See if you can expand the twist. Anybody who'd like to reach for your left foot, go for it. Let the next rotation of breath allow you to expand a little bit, some little point that it needs attention. Breathe there. And then release that, reaching with that right arm up towards the sky, hands meet. Guide the right foot up again, bend the right knee, release that leg. Sole the foot to the floor, we'll do the other side. So we lasso that left foot up. And bend and straighten. Find a neutral, drop into that femur, hit the top of the femur, and then slide the left heel over towards the right hip. And then guide that leg over to the left. If you want to straighten your right leg, take the right hand to the top of the thigh and really press down so that we're anchoring our hip. And then bring the left leg up to the front, up to top, and then bend the right knee, lift up, bridge up into our twist. Right hand on the strap. Left hand comes to heart, open up, twist. Take your version of this twist, whether it's grabbing that foot or not. Bring your mind's eye to our central channel there, the spinal column. Imagining all of those facet joints, all of the intricacies that allow us this flexibility. Pretty miraculous. Release. And take the left leg up, straighten both legs on the mat. We'll have a nice Shavasana here, a mini Shavasana. I do have an appointment today, so we'll have to shorten our Shavasana, but feel free to give yourself a meditation however you'd like in your day or evening. We'll take 5 rounds of Ujjayi breath here, guiding us into our next phase of the day or night. Inhale and exhale. 4 more. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, and then roll over onto your right side. Ease yourself back up to a seated position. Hands at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me today in this practice. Namaste.